Alright, the game's kind of already going, so we're just gonna kind of let it be. 1 second. Okay. Oh. As I was saying, we're just gonna kind of, I guess, wing it from here. Kind of do a very quick stream, probably only going for a couple of hours, but I did want to continue because I'm getting YouTube recommendations now, and I'm really worried what I'm going to find out from like catching titles and catching little screenshots and things. Also, I may or may not end up being pretty busy this weekend. So, this week, rather. So we'll just have to kind of see. I'm going to do this now. Just set some time aside to write new videos, of course. So, you know, there's kind of two things I need to make sure I take time to do. It should be all, though. Oh, I had the music loud for, serving as background music. So, let me turn that down. Need to go over here. We'll need to, generally kind of sorry about that. Just gonna need one more. Woof. Okay, so when last we were here, we talked to these people, and we got a lot to do. We got a lot of info. There's still somewhere where, like, everything we did find out was compiled, but nothing to be happening today. We did kind of get, I don't think we can get there for now. I may have to wait till we can close the water lock. I'm not gonna get the boots. I have an idea of who might have my gun. But who put the clothes in the trash? It's about the tattoos. So what did we find out? We found out that he was apparently a motherfucker. He was making trouble. We found out about the phone line. We found out quite a lot. I don't even know if I can go over it all. Can I talk to him about...
Can I help you? Another thing. Yes?
Okay, so I can't talk about,
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
She crosses her arms. Are you the hardy
I
girl?
am not.
She says dryly.
You could be Liz. You could be anything. You could even be a model.
Even a mod? Glenn, I went to law school. I am an attorney.
He's right. With a face like that, she could be on the cover of Le Debutante International.
Get a grip, Glenn. She went to law
So
school.
fucking what? Lots of models are actually really smart people, fuckwad.
No, Glenn. they aren't.
Her tone is cold and uninvolved.
This didn't change her opinion of you. It's not her. She's not a hardy girl. Definitely.
We'll talk later. I've got a bit of an indication that she might have my gun. This is the thing. Can I talk to Sylvie about the guy?
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. Just a second, officer. Sylvie Malaika on the line for you, officer. Yes, hello?
You recognize her voice. Hello, Sylvie, it's the police
Oh,
again.
great. What else do you need, detective?
You hear the call breaking up.
Anything else I can help you with, officer? Not yet. But I was able to convince the database people to share private sector information. They promised to get back to me by tomorrow morning. Do you have any other questions? Just a moment, officer.
10-4, come in, officer. Over.
Wait, before you say you're going...
10-4, sir, I'm not... That's a negative. Understood, sir.
Okay.
Roger
Might
that.
be alone. At some point. Not now, apparently. I just kind of... Why can't I put so many fucking points into volition? Joyce's info. I should zoom out because there was like a whole corner of the map I just didn't see because I was I don't know, that like it just kind of bypassed me, I guess. So we'll kind of stay zoomed out as we're roaming around here. Looks like there's more construction here, once decades ago. Point.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Change it later.
Better not tie the fourth stage.
She wants to answer the question. Protocol keeps her...
I'm afraid I can't say any more until we've taken care of formal protocol.
How do I negotiate my way out of this? This is a red check.
Of
Okay.
course, the situation...
I'm probably not going to be leveling suggestion. I can take this off, but I don't want to. I'm playing this. I'm playing Purist. Metagaming. Fuck that.
Give me a moment. Ask away, policeman.
Is there a hole in the wall of the abandoned
Some
apartment?
lunatic lost his mind. All kinds of morons pass through these halls.
With how small these rooms are, wouldn't you want to break the wall down?
One of the residents on vacation, their mailbox is
People come
overflowing.
and go. I don't keep an eye on everyone.
They probably just moved or died. Hopefully somewhere else.
Lives in
No
apartment
one
10.
lives there. It's been empty for months.
But I talked to someone through the door.
Impossible. I would know if someone had moved in there.
She pauses, eyeing the hallway.
Maybe it's those countercultural people again. Breaking into a house like it's a public space. You're a policeman. Be good and take a look, will you?
I guess you're
Great.
friend.
Young people. They're worse than rats. You know, always littering the hallways with trinkets and empty beer cans.
Interesting. Should probably check the other door then. These apparently lead to things.
She mumbles some kind of a response, then hacks something into her handkerchief.
I'm off.
You hear someone walking around inside. This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says number 11.
Examine the
It's a
padlock.
solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters would make short work of it. No reply. No reply.
Use some
Why
chambers
would
here
we
to
want
cut
to
the-
break into some random citizen's apartment?
Why wouldn't we want to?
The lieutenant looks at you for a long moment, then blinks once, but he knows it wouldn't make much of a difference.
I suppose if one were committed to it, there's a pair of chain cutters in the kinema.
Let's ask the lady about it first.
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says 10.
The apartment's supposed to be empty. Did you break in here?
Excuse me? Of course not.
You have plenty of reason to enter.
I don't need to warn us. Suspect there's been a
Oh,
break-in.
come on.
There's a pause before you hear the door being
Well,
unlocked.
that was easy.
That was smart.
Tenant says, nodding towards the unlocked door. A blister pack of medicine peeks out of the box. You should take it. It's like a fine mattress.
Satisfied? My name is Marielle Charpentier, and I'm an agent with Martinez Realty Associates. I am not breaking in, as I have every right to be here. The keys, see?
She jingles a set of keys in her hand.
Her voice is really cheerful, despite her obviously hating you.
Do you want to see my ID as well? You can't legally ask for it, but why not? Want to see my residence permit too?
She fumbles through her purse, finding light people who had passport.
It feels flimsy in hand, with the words Revachol Zone of Control written under a nondescript municipal logo. There's a picture of her with shorter hair inside, along with all her personal details.
This haircut.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? I need to be back in Midtown in an hour.
What are you doing here?
I need to get it ready for the next lease, but as you can see, the previous tenant completely trashed the place.
Likely know how to have a good time. Sure.
It was some kind of a moribund old man who used to be a business owner. You'd think they'd make rent.
She stops, hesitating.
A sudden serious look crosses her face. This story didn't have a happy ending.
But that was months ago. Anyway, was there anything you wanted, or is that it? I'm in a hurry.
Who lives in a foreclosed apartment down the
Oh,
hallway?
that's another huge mess. The former tenant owes us 3 months of rent. 3. We closed the apartment and planned on auctioning off the valuables, but... And again, I have no idea how stupid mistakes like this can even happen. But Ron, when he came to close the door, didn't close the neighboring door. And there's a hole in the wall. A hole in the wall. Can you believe it? And then the tenant ran off with his stuff. He's gone. The money's gone. Just like that.
She snaps her fingers.
The sum must have been puny. Oh, it irks her. The incompetence.
Our money has also disappeared, I think.
Well, it does not disappear from my hands. No, I don't let it.
So wait, what happened with the wall?
Don't ask me what happened with the wall. I have no idea how we're going to find the time or resources to fix it. Both apartments are now unrentable. Both.
She's still shaking her head, and manicured hands now crossed over her chest. That's all, thank you. She replies with a smile, but her eyes remain glazed over. She's been waiting for you to leave.
Give me a moment.
I didn't find any counterculture people in part 10. Just a real estate agent setting up the room for new tenants.
I see. I hope some good people are finally going to move in. This place needs them.
I'm sure everything will be fine. This apartment building needs slow change, imperceptibly slow. This is probably somehow the, This is probably, honestly, the least dumb response somehow.
Yes. Well, I hope they're good people.
Your statements are too vague to comment on.
Ask away, policeman.
Who's behind the padlocked door?
Oh, that one is a scientist, a future scholar.
Suddenly the old lady's face is beaming.
I think he studies astrology at the community college. Education's good. I always tell them to study.
Astrology?
Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on the wall.
You sure that you don't mean astronomy?
That's what I said. Astrology.
The lieutenant shakes his head, as though to say, let it go. Come on, people. Try to keep up any standards here. It's not about stars. It's... forget it. She mumbles some kind of a response, then hacks something into her handkerchief.
Takes them off. Probably don't have grounds to break in there, if I'm being completely real. So, despite the suggestion, I won't. Can't come back here yet, for quite a while actually. I need to go back into the bookstore at some point, but I think for now... This is probably not even that good for me, really. I'm not metagaming though. Picking stuff that I like as part of the character's, I guess, makeup. Okay, I know something to look into. The passage up to the roof? Anything on the front page rings a bell. Strange.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush.
I'm not making that visual calculus check.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material Etonite. It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted against an old shack. Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, a metallic drawer slides out. The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand, useful for opening all sorts of doors and lids. The pull-out tool...
I might have skipped it down, like that was not, like, new.
An inconspicuous pile of the... because it's nice and orderly. Well-laid pallets.
Yeah.
Easy rhythmic pattern calms your mind. Mammals like this stuff. No, there's more to this. You get this strange feeling.
Oh. What feeling?
Hard to say. It's gone now. Feelings pass, you see. Especially the small ones.
Does Kuno care? Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck do you want with it?
There's a snack internet
That's
back
just
there.
some shit roofing gimps left behind. Lazy dinks.
There it is. That strange feeling again. As if there was more than meets the eye about that pile of roofing material.
So you say, but I saw past the
fucking
veil.
well! The you talking about? Ask me a normal question, pig.
They're trying to make you feel stupid, Kuno.
You glance again at the roofing material in front of the shack. Yes, you should go back there.
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno doesn't...
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
Why am I looking at this pile of roofing material?
Because it's nice and orderly, it reveals no secrets at this time.
Oh, fuck off. I may end up actually investing in perception because of this.
You see a heavy steel door, the cobalt blue. The man ponders his cooking utensil.
View the canopy, red pleasant, the muddy street, blurry shadows of people pass.
Can I help you? Another thing. Yes?
Is there some way up to the roof that I'm somehow missing?
Yes?
Hola, Wandering Man. Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. Of course.
Should we? He didn't do it. It's the truth.
Murder, huh? That sounds like a lot of hard work. You'd never see me investigating a murder. Of course.
Should we? He didn't do it.
I'll just jog that path again, I guess. I'm feeling at a bit of a standstill here, I'm not gonna lie.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
Does Fleet have a warehouse at the back of the
A
Roman
warehouse?
ranks?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what Frit does.
Give you something to work with
She
here.
looks up from under her brow.
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. Just a little back room here. Okay?
She turns back to her magazine without waiting for you to respond.
A colourful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles lined there, in that dark green glass, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer, alcohol, love, alcohol.
This is not a good place for a recovering addict.
Guess not, no.
Takes the wall of goods behind her, then adjusts
Good
her hat.
thing you're an unrecovering alcoholic then.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. But I guess you already know that.
Don't ask, Don't look. Don't do anything here. Just go away. Get back to work. Know this. You will never finish your alcohol quest if you don't buy beautiful alcohol.
I actually have a bottle already found elsewhere, so not even technically true.
The woman still. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by Wirral-related merchandise.
Tricky, what board games do you have here?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography. Raubritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family?
Do you have friends?
Are you actually friends? Or just colleagues thrown together by circumstance?
Feels if I have
Friends
any
are
kids.
technically like family.
She feels with her pendant thinking.
For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
What about all these Wirral things?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all. I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them, though.
She looks at the table, crossing her arms. The pile of
An
Wirral
endless
items.
variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welkin Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Catawak, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books?
Really
There's a box that says Wirral, 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements Module. The side panel notes, a fantastic adventure board game, new maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real. That price is steep, but then it's the 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplement, so it makes sense.
Okay, well, that all aside, I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. We'll look around the books. We'll look around the bookstore a little bit more, is what I was saying. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Okay. Let's do the thing. Still kind of doing the thing.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People.
The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you.
I'll open the curtains.
Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice of the shop owner cries out once more.
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers.
Her hand has closed around her pendant, her fingers nervously playing with the talisman.
Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequences. It's too dangerous.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
But I sense this place calling for me upstairs to get beyond
You
the threshold.
My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir.
I'll think about it for a while.
Let's just talk about this first, all right? There's no reason for you to venture into the unknown.
Talking is always good. Go see what she has to say. There is something mysterious about the curtains. Be careful. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you.
Let's talk about the curtains then.
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand why it's so important to you.
Oh, no model on screen. Fixed. I already told you just to store. Oh, that's her.
Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the book.
Storage room, the ones that have a 70s ward protecting it.
It's just for decoration.
She wavers under your gaze, mouth pressed to her tight lips, smile, then something breaks.
Okay, fine. It's because this place is cursed. Just like Annette said, they don't call it the doomed commercial area for nothing. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
Close her eyes and starts mumbling something to repent. How does the curse manifest itself?
It's so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation.
A shiver runs through the woman. She looks around the dimly lit store.
It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
She peers at the curtains again.
Didn't that curtain just move?
No. I'm a little confused. What does that mean?
Everyone knows that all the previous companies in this building have sooner or later declared bankruptcy, and their malicious spirits are still here, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie lingering presence, as if I was unwanted here.
Sounds familiar.
Strange. I feel unwanted too. What does it
Truly
mean?
so? Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous.
You tell me to take the case? I can investigate, see if the curse is real.
Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not familiar with the psychic arts to get involved in this mess. Stay away. Leave the spirits be, so they can return to their slumber.
My liege, you know what this case calls for? A para-detective.
Oh. It is a white check, but I don't know if I want to invest in drama at any point.
Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
Ma'am, I came here to help. I've handled paranatural situations before.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before.
I have returned from the void. A paradetective from a long line of paradetectives, you see.
You're no paradetective. You look nothing like one. And you're clearly a drinker. Pardon me for being so blunt, but...
You look like one. Hey now, hey. You need the booze to focus, alright? The lieutenant keeps his usual stony calm. He silently picks out his notebook. Go ahead then, rock her world, he thinks. I'll compose some notes.
I admit, I've had my share of drinks only because the spectrum is parapsychologically taxing, of
How
course.
do you know all this?
Here we go.
Ford's brought me in the first place. The 70s blood also runs through me. This is exceptionally insensitive, but I will say it for the sake of getting this open.
You're part Simonese. Oh, it means our meeting couldn't have been mere chance. The hand of fate guides us. But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us.
My partner Kim held out for me. The lieutenant was in minor confusion. He has not been listening close enough to put him on the spot.
Certainly so, ma'am. I can assure you my partner is eminent in this particular field.
If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it?
Hand on your heart, on my honor.
Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
Of the fucking what?
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
Of course, the entity. I have sensed its presence.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney?
Chimney, the passage between heaven and hell, of course.
Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's doing there. Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse. What you discover in there.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin. What you discover? Probably just some office space. Don't be scared.
A few more questions.
Okay, but please, only a few questions.
Have you sought help from anyone?
I've contacted numerous parapsychologists, and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards.
She nods the strange cage-like trinket on the curtains.
The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building. Even though now I fear it's not enough.
Is your pendant part of the wards as well?
Oh, this? No, it's a special Himian amulet, blessed by desert pygmy shamans, with a spell of compulsion. It's to compel people to buy books.
This is, you know, as much of this sort of mysticism is, this all does come off as vaguely racist, but that's fine.
There are numerous spells cast throughout the store. I had the books anointed with a different inducement spell, for example. It's guaranteed to boost sales. 15%!
Desert pygmy shamans. That sounds like a rather questionable way to describe a group of people.
As I said. Never mind, I had other
The
questions.
woman before you scans the store, her shoulders rigid and tense. Every now and then, she nudges her glasses.
Very well for now. Suppose we can go back here now.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room.
Pull the curtains open.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Simonese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Oh!
Just escapes from the place until she tries her best to look away, her round face buried in her hands. Ghostly silhouettes of hair dryers. A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Maybe looking at that unmanly haircut threatens your masculinity, Jesus.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked. After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room.
There's gotta be fucking... I need to get the fuck in there. We'll do this and then we'll see what happens. Open the door and enter. Sand is dripping from the...
What is this place?
Tenant stairs. Just trying to it's an
No,
adventure.
it's a gym. Though it looks like no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on.
An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
There's a reason no one's been here for ages.
Yes, because it's closed. No need to look for supernatural explanations where a banal one will do. Now let's move on, shall we?
The poster says Sentius Fortis, the rest is worn off. Worn out wall bars, they look unsafe.
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift them. There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar?
It's familiar because I'm a weightlifter?
No, it's not
Probably
that.
not now.
It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone.
I'm gonna need to at some point revisit the streams I've done and like take notes, I think.
It's just a memory. A memory from another life. When you were young and fit.
Shot football. Okay, that gets a decent amount of money apparently. Hallway is blocked by old window panes and debris. It is kind of creepy in here. Again, would have been cool to play in the dark, but tracking. A large Jimmy-on full of strange liquid. I'm making the pronunciation. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. I'm not sure what those are doing here, realistically. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. There's a fucking mannequin. There's like weird fucking mannequins over there. Let's swap expressions and I guess quick save. Fuck, let's hard save. What the fuck is that sound? Takes money, no one's looking for it. A naked mannequin torso, a strange yellow color. Blue velvet, soft to the touch, moth bitten. Take the... Where are the clothes it used to display? Worth noting.
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and a wired framework. The keyboard has a rectangular on-off button. A piece of paper still hangs from the printer.
A radio computer. Just sitting here without anyone inside.
You sound surprised and a bit cautious. Do you think it's
We had one of these down at the station, but I never really learned how to use it.
Turn on the machine.
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing fluorescent play and print keys on the keyboard. The hatch on the machine's central compartment is wide open.
Inside the
It's
compartment.
empty like a beehive without its brood. Some cables have been left dangling, disconnected.
This is where the memory should go.
Lieutenant notes observing the machine. Press
Nothing
play.
happens. Nothing
Press play
happens.
again. Press
Nothing
print.
happens.
Huh. So what was up there? I'll look over there later. Scribbled across a notebook, developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe. What
Your
RPG in
flashlight
which way?
slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes, like some ancient cave mural.
There's a drawing of like an elf guy there, so maybe that's a hint. As to my previous question, your flashlight slides over. Okay.
Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
Inspect the drawings.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins, casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin. And even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind? You should adopt one of those Wilkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a Welkin. One of the Welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Examine the Welkin. This is important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high Welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a Welkin supremacist. The note says
I'm cracking the
all
knuckles.
non-Welkin
Fucking
races
keeping the
will be purged.
Knuckle cracking again.
The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with Welkin, Green Welkin, Dread Welkin, and the High Welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little Welkin creatures.
Anyone spends so much time on
Some
this.
people really like building a world, I think, even if it's just for a game.
One of them is a Welkin supremacist.
Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
Lieutenant notes the Welkin's facial hair. The creatures who drew them. Are they real? I have so many questions. Of course we're asking.
This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real.
Well, this has been educational. Let's move on from the Welkins.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
And for what? All gone.
Inspect the
The
photos.
photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat-death scenario, a desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Let's inspect the schedule.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. Minimi stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN, Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed.
Oh. One of these, I'm not super, like, familiar with them, but I am aware that there's a lot of these kind of managing frameworks that are out there.
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details." The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: Call in, Tune out, Wirral Untethered, and Heat Death of the Universe.
This apparently didn't send... If this is the Wirral Company, didn't send them completely tits up. They are... You know, last we heard of them, they were still around. Skis with Slipstream painted on the laminated top layer. What the fuck were the airship blades doing in here? Steel rotor blades bearing the Slipstream logo. Production schedule filament. Okay, I can load this in. So I'm glad I can go this way too. There's a lot in here.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow. Fluorescent play and print keys shine on the keyboard. Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into place. On the keyboard, the play key starts blinking.
Move the... No, press play again.
A bar of fabric right above the keyboard starts producing a soft hum. The sound of static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. Have you stirred the ghost of the doomed commercial area from its rest? Could this be its dismembered heart beginning to flutter? The static gets louder, slowly filling up the abandoned hall, until a voice speaks out, crackling and old, cutting into the air.
Good morning. Fortress accident en rue de Saint-Ghislaine. This is East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the production schedule?
Wait, what's the production
The
schedule?
filament you have inserted into the reader.
The glowing thing I put inside?
Yes. Is that the production schedule?
I don't know.
If you are unsure, could you please take a look?
How do I do that?
Open the hatch on the compartment. Don't touch the wires. A current is running through it, but the core is safe. There's a filament inside. I need to know what it's called.
Yep, it's called the production schedule.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Password? Of course it would have a password. That's why there's a human administrator involved.
Real bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint?
No.
Didn't think so.
A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
Just the police.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder for stress accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I'm afraid we are not doing that, unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password?
I don't know.
Received. I will register this login attempt.
Don't worry. Passwords have a way of turning up sooner or later.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
You tell me Fortress Accident.
Fortress Accident is the company on whose name the terminal you are currently using has been registered to.
Have any other information about this company?
One moment.
You hear if I'll do a catalog before he reads out with studious care.
Fortress Accident SCA produces revolutionary interactive call-in radio games. That's what the catalog says.
That's not bad.
Oh, so conceptual. What's that? This interactive call-in radio game.
Any other questions?
a static drowned her response. It's all for now.
Thank you, and goodbye.
The old lady's voice disappears.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering. Nothing happens.
Print doesn't work.
Tiles on the cube. The filament
That's when keep it on me.
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker. The mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic.
And how about Kadran mosaic tiles are supposed to look like?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
What am I looking at?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Radio notes for what?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
Doing something medical here?
You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart, titled the Game Master Frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants.
The game? Who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. All of this is gone, left unrealized. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this off.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Oh. I mean, that's often the way of it, I guess.
The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
What else?
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
I'm probably gonna end up having to put it into perception, honestly, because I want to fucking try that one chick again.
Okay. What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
Just to feel busy, the only question is what the hell were they making?
Yes, that is the question.
Lieutenant takes a step back, stapling his hands.
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper role-playing games. Only these people were trying to automate it, make it work on radio computers.
Wild. How do they think that was possible?
Utter madness, he thinks, as a compliment.
True call-in stations. None of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the Game Master Frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
Kind of an ARG thing, then.
His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment. He's a little hooked.
This was a role-playing game?
Indeed. Those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the We Were board game, with hit death.
Wait, is this a giant fucking three-body problem reference? Wait. Because it's like a weird-ass, like, game that you're interfacing with, and apparently, like, heat death from gravitational alteration, or, like, being thrown off of your usual gravitational course. That is, like, a plot point? Oh my god.
Super cool. Someone should give them millions of real immediately. This game is too good to be left unfinished.
Has anyone ever done
Not
this
to
before?
my knowledge. They make automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry.
Not in Revachol West, among the ruins.
But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an interinsulary game before. We just don't have the technology.
What do you think happened to the company?
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the chalkboard.
Wow.
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but...
insane if they thought they could do this.
Especially in here.
Lieutenant looks around the derelict room, the pipes howl, and a rat crosses the floor in front of your feet.
Okay, let's keep moving.
Oh, wow. I do kind of want to first look at... the other way I saw up here. She was in a puddle of melting snow. Postcard like Delta 51. I'm picking up postcards. That's crazy.
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives.
Back. House from the coal chute above.
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost and the bear's eyes are glowing red. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
Giant... What is this thing? It looks like a giant ice bear.
The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door.
It's plugged in, apparently. It's
a gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Max came, it's a fridge.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge.
He looks his hand, his face bathed in the harsh light of the open fridge door.
Let's take a look inside.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Take the note from
the door. You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
One of the
a friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge.
What is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
Lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it in the light. They tried to sell ice cream from this hyper-carnivore?
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
Lieutenant points at the red snaky cable running from the fridge.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
Close the door. An ice cream maker defrosted and unplugged. Flashing light casts a strange shadow. There's a hidden doorway here. Interesting. The perception wouldn't be too bad. Frozen ice cream maker that's still running. Also, there's just a lot of good stuff in here. Insane mesh tank top. I'll need to look into that in a second. So much this prairie is goddamn huge. Imagine if I had failed that drama check.
As before, what an odd thing to do. Nothing happens.
Still
nothing. No one's home.
Even harder.
Those curtains prove to be surprisingly sturdy. Your fist hurts now. If this is really an entrance to the chimney, then there must be a furnace somewhere as well.
I didn't think it would punish.
Maybe there's another way to get in.
Can you please try to refrain from attacking random things?
Not random. This is significant. I want to see what's on the other side.
Why do you think there's something on the other side, necessarily?
You didn't ask, but you could see a spark of curiosity in his eye.
In any case, there's no way we can get in right now. Let's investigate further.
Fine. Using a thing of whatever it is. Does someone live here? Oh yeah, there's like a little bit of a setup here.
Your flashlight, some of the writing has faded with the handwriting is... Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here.
I don't get it.
Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same Slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other.
The question is, which did they start with and which did they pivot to?
That's a good question.
A strange leap of imagination, yet they still failed. How sad.
Reality is ruthless.
I wonder if like the password's around somewhere. The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now. Hidden door first. Two rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable. Who the hell's hiding guns down here? Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the okay, a lot of them, apparently.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
Where are we? So we're in the
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Oh, that makes some sense. Look, there's a hole in the wall.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Sure.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away. Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest. But one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
This one looks nice.
It's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
You didn't catch this, but it's a Bella Margaret from the Revolution. What does this mean, right?
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
He likes this find.
Noted.
The note is written with a blue pencil on a piece of lined office paper. The kitchen magnets have left spots on its surface.
Does it say anything interesting?
Lieutenant, lean closer to read the crumpled note over your shoulder.
This is tangential at best, but the lieutenant's detective instinct is still active. Someone has scribbled, S. I can't believe the off-site copy is still here. The illiterate ginger kid keeps stealing stuff from the studio, so I had to hide it somewhere safe. You'll find the filament memory with the off-site copy in the frozen ice cream maker. Please take it home, ASAP. It's important. I'd do it myself if I lived in a civilized place with a freezer. Take care, Sully Swaff.
I wonder who wrote that
Looks
note.
like someone from that radio game company upstairs. I'm a little surprised they just left their property lying here.
Maybe they had to leave in a hurry.
That's a plausible hypothesis.
Man, I know what a filament memory is by this point.
It belongs inside a radio computer, storing its memory. It's like a tape. You listen to disco tapes, right? It's like one of your disco tapes, only for a computer.
It's like the production schedule you found. Only this one's an off-site copy.
The illiterate
Really?
ginger kid.
You don't have a single guess?
You mean Kuno?
Oh, I'm sure that child would love to get his hands on the filament memory. Even if he doesn't know what to do with it, he'd probably try to pawn it for speed, based on our encounter.
The idea where the frozen ice cream maker could be?
I don't know. I assume it's somewhere close to the ice bear fridge.
Didn't you see one right next to the breaker box?
But then anyway, I'm glad I fucking looked at that first. I almost made a bit of a mistake. Before we do that, let's
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Tim, what's this thing? Is it a
Looks
furnace?
like it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney.
He opens the door and gingerly peeks
No one
inside.
has used it in ages. No signs of any recent fire. Only dead rats.
Look inside the
It's
furnace.
dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice or several voices talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs.
What are you doing?
I'm sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking
Wait,
upstairs.
really? Maybe it's coming from behind those safety curtains we saw upstairs.
The voice I heard, maybe it's the malignant entity. Twyson said it lives in a chimney. I don't believe this, but I do believe this might be what she thought she was hearing.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
Always has to be the skeptic, this man.
Let's leave. Intriguing.
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
I'll fuck with that later. That has the fucking filament in it, right?
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top, and an electric freezer that appears to be frozen shut. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but the ice is too cold for you to get a good grip. A pry bar would come in handy here. If you want to try again, then you need to have the pry bar in your hand, detective.
Equip the pry bar by going to the Tools tab in your...
This orange machine is buzzing like an old submarine. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner on top.
If I unplug it...
2 cables are plugged into the something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
It's not like the red one.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
With that in mind, shouldn't the ice now start to melt?
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Still nothing, still seems particularly unlikely, so... Shame that. Cellar window, people's feet shuffling by on the street.
As before, an iron safety curtain curves before your eyes. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from here.
There's a lot to find, but we'll come up on just a bit of a dead end here.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
The dark
yes,
sarcophagus.
yes.
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear.
It was a charnel house of failed business enterprise leeching life energy from this
I
bookstore.
knew it. Oh, such horrors that have been thrust upon us.
She shakes her head.
But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
You don't have anything of substance to tell her until you found that entity of her.
That's all I can say for now. I really should get this done like today. It's just a thing of
This orange machine is... You slip your... If you want to...
Equip the pry bar by going to the...
Yeah.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner. Turning the crank feels odd. It's all gone now. You'll never become a poet or an entrepreneur. What better to assuage the creeping sense of failure than some frozen fat and sugar? An inconspicuous... Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? 57.
In the cabin, you see...
Okay. That was, I guess, a pretty...
An old callbox. East Delta Commerce Center. This must be the name of the doomed commercial area. Silence. No one's home at Fortress Accident. Silence. No one answers the doorbell. bear's eyes are... A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace. A hollow ring echoes through the furnace. Your toe hurts.
God. In your hands with coal.
A lush layer of coal now covers your skin. You feel the spirit of Ramut Karzai, ancient hero of Grad.
No, let's
yes,
not do that.
The lieutenant seems relieved as well.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna stop injuring myself for a bit, I think. Like, I knew that kind of thing could happen. Now, and I just went for it anyway. Wow. I'll stay at 2 health because I know I can rejuvenate.
Only the red cable is an electric sizzle. The room is slightly quieter now. The bear's eyes are dead and empty. Ice inside the fridge slowly melting. The power has been... This orange machine is dead still. You slip your... If you want...
Equip the prime...
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and...
See, I'm just wondering if, like, as time passes, I'll get further bonuses on that check. You said it was frozen shut, right?
Just an ordinary wall. Nothing to see here. Do makes the whirling.
I have an idea of what I might do. For the end of my life. My fucking roommate is playing music again. So, you know, I mean, I can't complain too much. I'm probably talking loud enough to hear at times.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board, with the permeables drawer inside. It's barely held together by a clip, then made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner.
Apparently, Lonesome Long Way Home is a negative to this. Read a case file.
It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
Couch in unexpected
Some
location.
assholes brought their couch outside and hung out on it. In the middle of the street, on the roof, on the hillside by the motorway. You know, at an unexpected location. They were young, and they thought they looked cool on it.
That looks really cool, like a model.
Yes, as you said here, total assholes. Young people are the worst. So anyway, you got a complaint about the damn sofa, or couch, or whatever it was. They were leaving it out in all these unexpected and whimsical locations. They took it to where they also took photos of themselves on it, and smoked cigarettes, and drank coffee because they felt it's intellectual. Cigarette butts, coffee cups, stupid couch. You had to clean it all up, and you did. So congratulations to you. Case solved.
Did you ever catch those guys?
No, you didn't have time for that. These notes show that you have what is called a real goddamn job. You don't have time to be chasing down the couch assholes. You have a real job to do. What next? Not much has changed in the...
Still here, stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
I could gamble on that empathy. It just makes me look terrible, though. Oh, there's like description.
Medicinal purposes of the pearl. Very well. First, choose a base ingredient. Next, you'll need to combine the base ingredient with an appropriate vehicle. Lastly, is there anything else? The ginger root will help with the nausea, and the birch bark tea will help you flush out the toxins. The ginseng should give you more energy as a nice bonus. You imagine yourself with a mug of this tea in a chair by the window. It's a beautiful image, but will it ever come true for you?
You fucking asshole. What's about one of those things about these tattoos?
Looking for something odd? Come to tell me.
No.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal. The dented yellow mailbox. This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting. This orange machine is dead still. It has. You slip your fingers under the frozen lid, but if you want...
Equip the...
So I'm still thinking that maybe the ice will be melted if I come back later.
Can I help you? You're already set for the night. Your door is unlocked. Another thing. Great. Yes?
The window stands broke. The fan stands... The switch must be broke. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes an endless. There's also a lot of books in a board game set. There's a box. That price is.
It's getting louder out there, I notice.
These shelves
God,
are
I'm sorry.
overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over.
Let me turn this fucking game's volume up a bit, actually. There's nothing I can really do about it.
Shelves filled to the brim with crime novels featuring the supposedly stalwart Vespertine detective Dick Mullen. Crime fiction is a disgrace, an asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes of the arduous everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of all the books found on the shelf?
Okay, no.
Shelves filled to the brim with
Okay, let's turn the volume back down, I think. Just a little bit. I need to level perception.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board. With the permeables drawn, it takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. AKA Leslie and Burke. AKA the public indecency drunk and the property damage drunk is a cursed case. It has been passed from unsuspecting officer to unsuspecting officer for 10 years. On January 29, the unsolvable case made its way to you. Why you accepted it, it is unclear. Every officer, and indeed most civilians in Jamrock, know it's unsolvable.
Okay, fixed.
You were so drunk you didn't remember what it was when you signed on. That, or you were high. Leslie will always take his pants off when he's drunk. Burke will always trash everything. It's just what they do. It is their nature. You cannot change the nature of a man, and you can't lock them away because public indecency and small-scale property damage are not punishable by incarceration. The only way for Leslie to stop flashing his genitals to bypassers and for Burke to stop dismantling signage and rear-view mirrors would be for them to stop drinking alcohol, which, in their 40s or 50s, it's hard to tell because of their distorted features, is a medical improbability on par with you ceasing to produce the expression, threatening fines, dragging them to the station, locking them up in the hellholes they live in, locking them up in the station, hypnotherapy, even trying to get the local gang of Zemyaki to take them out. The Zemyaki gave them ethanol, so Burke and Leslie would expose and rampage even harder. You tried it all, and still the complaints wouldn't stop, as they hadn't stopped for 10 years. It's plain to see from the files that you, Satellite Officer JV, and Special Consultant TH had more important cases to attend to. You uncover cross-reference to several ongoing investigations, each brought to a standstill every time you drive down Main Street. Because there they are, on the corner of Perdition. And what is Leslie doing?
Public indecency.
Good, you're learning. If the files are to be trusted, that's all there is to it. That and Burke breaking things, and the fact that they're both drunk. But then again, so are you. The case becomes considerably less comic one day when Burke takes a swing at your ledger. He must have it confused with the property he likes to damage. But the joke's on him. You're drunk out of your mind on potent Pilsner. You slam the hardened plastic board in his face. Then you proceed to beat him unconscious with it. In the process, the ledger sustains damage. The compartment within, reserved for permeable documents, is jammed shut. You stop your assault on the now unconscious Burke to open it, but are unable to do so. The officer began to cry, reports Leslie, who, at this point, is tending to Burke. He came at us, and at us. I think he was trying to kill Burko. While trying to kill Burko, you slowly come around. The permeables compartment is open. You've smashed it open on poor Burko's kneecaps. The good news is, Burke can't walk anymore, can't get out of his apartment, an invalid. With Burke to tend to, Leslie cuts back on the indecent exposure. Maybe he flashes his genitals to Burke, who knows, but both drunks are off the street. The complaints stop. The unsolvable case is solved. Which is also why the officer responsible narrowly escapes a disciplinary hearing. The end. Do you want to read another one? Not much has changed in the meanwhile. A bunch of sodden papers still sags from the clipboard.
Crack it on the knee like Burke. Let's try it.
The two sides of the board appear slightly misaligned, like a drawer that's come off its slides. If you bend the plastic on your knee slowly, the slides snap back into place. It should be possible to just, you know. What are you waiting for? That's because you know where this leads to. Without resistance or sound, the two panels move against each other. The compartment is now open. 2 ticket stubs and a handmade postcard.
Pick up the ticket
2
stubs.
octopuses are smiling, reaching their tentacles toward each other in the colored pencil drawings. The tickets permit access to the zoo in Revachol East. The aquarium costs extra. These let you go there too.
Why is this an option? Pick up the
Thin
card.
wax paper has been glued to a piece of cardboard. Sounds like leaves rustling when you pick it up. You see violet flowers, floral patterns, patches of glue. It smells of chewing gum, apricot flavored, a touch of cinnamon, the end of summer. You think the label says tutti frutti.
Open it.
Familiar handwriting lines the inside of the card. Looped, round letters in a woman's hand. A young woman in her 20s. There is care, effort, and a smile, you think. Although that is not something you can read from someone's handwriting. Harry, it begins. You're already reading. I wanted to write you a letter so you can read it when you wake up. Maybe it will make you happy. Throw it away, please. Your hand shakes holding the card. Every morning when I step out and you're asleep behind me, it says, I find a little piece of sadness in me. I carry it in my chest, down Voyager Road. Every step I take, it grows. By the time I reach the fuel station, it has filled me entirely. I step onto the light rail and look back. Sparks fall from the bow collector. I know it will be like this until late afternoon, when I get off the 42 and walk back to you.
Stop.
You jam the compartment shut. It's hard to breathe. The air in your lungs feels sour somehow. The drawer is locked. Blue ink drips from the white pages in your hand.
We're gonna go ahead and put that in the maybe some other time pile, I think. Hard save. I'm gonna use the restroom. I'm probably gonna go for another hour-ish. Hello.
Yes? What do you want to know? Good. What about me?
Like other people.
That's because I'm half Seolite, or quarter. My father's father was from Seoul. So was my grandmother, but from my mother's side. It's not an interesting topic.
Okay.
I don't speak a word of Seolite, and I've never met either one of my grandparents. There is nothing ethnic, I can tell you. Or anyone else. Good.
That's all for now.
Let's change the subject.
Might be someone I can ask about the tattoos. Actually, maybe you guys all seem knowledgeable.
I have really outdone myself. This is divine.
Yes, that's what you need, Gaston. More padding on that fat ass of yours. I hope your heart gives out.
René, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day? I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't share food. Nothing personal, it's just a principle.
Understood. I wasn't really expecting, I guess.
The only one you have.
Yeah, I'm not that hungry anyway.
That's good. That's very good. You must have other business then.
The rules of the game.
The goal is to throw your bull as close to the cochonnet as you can. That's the cochonnet.
He points to the small wooden ball in the middle of the crater. Tell me more about it.
Well, first, you draw a circle about a half a meter in diameter. We made ours out of rope. Then, the order of play is determined by a coin toss. You win it. You get to throw the cochonnet. Then, the players aim to throw their bulls as close to the cochonnet as possible. They must stay in the circle and keep both feet planted.
Anything else you can tell me about?
I could, but I'd rather not. I don't want to take up your time with trivial details, officer.
I think I get it. Thanks, System.
You'll put that knowledge to good use in 50 years. I'm sure of that, officer.
I don't like where this is going, officer. Don't you think we should do something else now?
I want to talk to you. I promise I won't be up at top.
Hurry up then.
Tell me, what do you know about the dead man?
Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really.
You must have heard something.
No, officers, I'm sorry. And I really would like to assist. You are both good guys. I can see that.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with the ghost caviar in the Union. Someone must know something.
He means caviar socialists.
I wish I could, but I just don't know anything. I always keep my nose clean and don't gossip. Everyone knows and respects that.
Odd. He doesn't seem to be lying, but there's something off here.
Sounds a bit like you're holding back.
I'm not even anyone.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of Union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not anyone important in the Union. I just know Evrard.
How do you know Evrard?
Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history. Only heard about it years later, when it had already moved on. You don't know history.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea. There he stands, proud, rigid and alone, like a cracking marble statue.
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
Lest we leave riddled with bullet holes. This animosity is ancient.
Are you a Union member?
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an honorary member. I attend meetings and parties, help with little things. Evrard, Edgar, and the older debardeurs all know me.
In many ways?
Oh, yes.
So not an actual member.
Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Evrard keeps me on the payroll, just for the little things.
So that's what it was before. Him hiding something. He tries to make it look like he's a big deal in the Union, and now the illusion is disintegrating before your and Ren.
In Rene's eyes, didn't finish.
He doesn't know anything, because no one tells him anything. He's an outsider.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a Weservein. Turns to where the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate the socialist rabble, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence. Never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already.
Little things you do for everyone.
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say. Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers. About Martinez and how things are and how they could be. Everhart and I have these long talks where...
Well, he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Are you a, quote, caviar socialist?
I don't even consider myself a regular socialist. Politics is not really something I involve myself in, officer.
I'm going to write these newspaper pieces if you're not political.
Officer, I have a vivid imagination. And like I said, I have a way with words. That's enough. No need to sink into politics.
He just fluffs it up.
Of course. Don't sink into anything. Don't sink into any fight. Only sink into your couch.
Even something. Freedom, the people, Revachol, even money.
I believe everyone has the right to think and do whatever they want. Even if it's nothing at all. I'm very adaptable.
Come on, you.
Carabinier closes his eyes like he's never going to open them again. I think that's all for now.
No, thank you. For being... Sure, officer.
I can't ask you if you can get me in.
No.
That doesn't really help me.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything. I doubt it.
The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Sure thing. Sure, man. Sure. Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Okay, so don't sell it, I guess. It's fine.
Another time, Bat.
Okay. That's fine, I guess.
A crumpled billboard reading, Samaran butter soaks in the canal. Two ugly lines mar the bright color, just some tasteless advertising at the bottom of a canal. No use rubbernecking now.
Okay, nothing more to see here, I suppose. That sucks. Okay, well, for lack of anything better to do with the time...
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
Logic error. She is not sleeping right now.
Thank you.
Pig's come to take me out. Trying to snuff me out.
Are you
Don't
sleeping
get
right now?
fucking clever with me, pig. You think you're so clever. Trying to sneak up on me?
An intricate way. It's still kind of... It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers. It takes about half an hour to piece one together, using the system you've devised. Which one do you want?
It's like a natural murder case. The square
It would be very interesting to read about these, wouldn't it? I mean, there seems to be a square-shaped entry wound in the victim's forehead. She's been sitting there for weeks, on her rocking chair, with a square hole in her skull, staring at the wall, her mouth agape. That's all you got. From the half hour you spent piecing it together, all you know is the entry wound was square-shaped. You never found the bullet. And then another body showed up, also with a square hole in his forehead. Who knows? Those pages are missing. What next? Don't worry. One day you may still catch the man with the square gun. Not much is...
And I think that's trying to get money out of her. I don't want to do that. Kuno's empathy, not going to make that. Unless your composure out there making that. And I'm probably actually not. No, I was making that had it.
The trash the smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong. The man before you is... The man before...
Of course. You come back.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of arson, petty theft, spousal abuse. Handwritten. You don't exactly close them so much as distance yourself. It takes about half an hour to... This one is relatively easy to reconstruct. Overnight on 1202, a graffito, nay, a mural, appears on an 8-story tenement overlooking central Jamrock. The building is a sparsely inhabited ghost tower, part of a failed real estate development called Grand Couronne. Cause of failure, rent too high. The mural is enormous. 2 silhouettes, a man and a woman, are kissing. The text cut into their form reads, "True love is possible only in the next world. For new people, it is too late for us. Wreak havoc on the middle class. People call it that thing and that fucking thing. It's visible for miles. In 2 days, the station's complaints desk gets clogged with requests to remove the bummer. You and your partner are assigned to the case. The graffito crew is easy to track down. Only the belles lettres have the literage of industrial paint to cover the surface. One of the graffito artists is rumored to be rich. They take responsibility for the execution, but not the design. The ideologue of the next world mural, as the crew calls it, remains an unknown.
Do I ever find out who came up with
it? The
that?
case files do not show you finding the author of the design.
Okay.
The crew agrees to clean up after themselves. However, your partner, JV, is against the removal, citing public support for conservation. This leads to a debate in Precinct 41, which then spreads to the streets of Jamrock, ending in a rare plebiscite organized by you and the rest of Row 3. The 9,000 people subjected to the mural's message, all of Lakeside, Central Jamrock, and Villa Lobos, plus half of the eminent domain, participate in the vote. Although the case begins with what appears to be a lot of rambling on the streets as to how juvenile and stupid the mural is, given a choice between 2 options, a staggering 78% of voters choose to keep it. Turns out the opposition were a loud minority, and that love truly is possible in the next world for new people, and it is too late for us.
Have voted and possibly been allowed to remove the things. I don't believe in that rubbish.
No one cares what you believe in, man with the smelly toilet ledger. What do you want to tackle next? Or are we done? Murder. Tum 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 at the hookah parlor was a case originally assigned to an officer called Joseph Mills, who is now dead, of circumstances completely unconnected to murder at the hookah parlor.
Wait, how?
Beaten to death by a throng of Villa Lobos gang members when him and his partner JM, only initials mentioned, answered a call one night. It's a sad story, and it isn't really represented in your case files. Stop stalling and get to the murder at the hookah parlor. Joseph Mills was on this case that he just couldn't solve, was doing it solo, said it was a real nutcracker, a real brain twister, was on it for, like, a month. The captain got impatient. Shit or get off the pot, Mills. Mills didn't get off the pot. Not yet. He kept at it for a couple of weeks more, racking his brains, running with every theory, as outlandish as they seemed. Still couldn't solve the murder at the hookah parlor. Tough case, he said. Toughest he's ever had.
It was just Mills a good cop?
He was awful. Awful sense of humor, too. The worst jokes you've ever heard. Really rapey. Still, he'd been on it for months now. Said it was the final case. Said it was uncrackable. That murderer vanished into thin air. That goddamn hookah parlor was all he talked about. Okay, so the case is handed to you because Mills isn't getting anywhere, and you look into it. Here's the setup. A young man is found dead in a hookah parlor. You know, those places where you go and smoke bubblegum-flavored vapor all day.
Cool.
Yeah, really lame. So anyway, young man in his 20s found with his skull busted open, right on the floor of the hookah parlor, in the middle of the day. No one else is in there. Only client that day. In perfect health, too. Some kind of movie producer. No one enters, no one exits. He's just sucking on his watermelon hookah all morning, all noon, like he usually does. He's a regular. No calls, nothing. Just sucking on the hookah until 15:45. Then bam, he's dead on the floor with his skull busted open, blood everywhere. What happened? How can it be? Mills has no idea. Invisible assassin, movie deal gone sour. Girl at the counter did it. Nothing fits. Eerie. Man just dropped dead. So you go to the parlor. You see cushions around the table. Table's low, heavy, really sharp edge.
Sucked hookah, stood up, passed out, hit his head on the table and died.
See? You can't even read the thing without solving it. Yeah, it was that. Turns out hookah does do something. It turns off your brain's oxygen supply. And you don't notice it until you get up to go to the bathroom.
Doing it for 6 hours.
Smoking hookah. Didn't you hear? I don't know. Trying to come up with a movie script, maybe. Anyway, that was Murder at the Hookah Parlor. Joseph Mills wasn't a good detective, and about 30 minutes has passed piecing it together. Next, not much has changed in the meanwhile. East Delta Commerce Center. This must... Nothing happens after you ring the doorbell. They don't want to talk to you.
That might do something.
This orange... This orange machine is dead.
I want to bust that random fucking guy's home. That seems like a bad idea.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out tool.
This is Precinct 57. Just a moment.
10-4, come in, officer.
Wait, before you're going...
10-4, sir, I'm not hearing your question.
News about my family?
Excuse me, sir.
You probably don't want to continue on this road.
Never mind.
Come again, sir, I didn't get that. 10-9, over. Understood, sir. Over. Roger that. 10-10, over.
This is Precinct 57. How 57?
In the cabin, you see...
I'm trying to figure out what Chet she even wants again.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? Not an umbrella, I hope. I don't need one myself, you see.
It's a coat like that, the rain's freezing.
Sadly, I need this one myself. It's hydrophobic, repels water, almost magically. The company makes them for offshore platform personnel. very sturdy.
Hey, Margaret Thatcher looking lady.
What I can do for you is answer some questions. Nothing like talking. I'm afraid I can't say any more until we've taken care of formal protocol. Of course, the situation is...
Okay, that's a start. I'll probably wear this out in the rain. Oh. I'm gonna end up needing a crowbar for that.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? I'm afraid I can't say any more until we've taken care of formal protocol.
Make it a roll.
Feelings will guide the way.
Man, I didn't know about this. It's very important to me. It's the case
I
I'm
assure
solving.
you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I
Understand.
hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
I understand it's like my side case. This is my main thing.
Trust me, officer, I am fully committed to resolving this impasse. This isn't some side gig for me.
There's so much else. I have only this. This is the entirety of my existence.
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
But for example, in a home somewhere, I only
Officer.
have this case. Jeez. This is lynching. It's only this coast. And
You
the
know,
lynching.
I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting it. Somehow.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible.
Like
The
what?
Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbor. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Perhaps it's time to look into it. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Excuse us for a moment.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
How did you hope it would go?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Oh, so for a henchman
This
now?
woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
Found a
Oh,
badge.
that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large, and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence.
You could request a new one from the station, but that would literally take months.
Back to her then.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Okay, tell me about this alleged
It's
drug
quite
trafficking.
straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Revachol through the
Yes.
terminal.
After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
You want us
Yes,
to
but
investigate.
you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Lorries?
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they're vulnerable. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
Gives you a knowing look.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Why didn't you come to the RCM
We
earlier?
did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
It's no coincidence the lorries are stranded later like that, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However,
She pauses, looking to the sea.
this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue.
She looks north.
Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
What proof do you have that the Union is involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
So you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
I think you'd have some system where the driver
The
is present
two
at the lynching.
might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done.
Okay, I made up my mind about this funding
Yes?
investigation. You will take the case, probe the drivers, see what it yields.
According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
She takes another long sip from her seemingly bottomless thermal cup. Okay, so I've been roped into this. I should actually probably keep that on. You said I wouldn't metagame with clothes, but I rationalized it there, and now I'm no longer rational. Now I would prefer this.
Looking for something, Aunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again? Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo. Apples.
Apples is exactly that.
Yes, apples. I take it you had other questions?
You're a lawyer, right? What's your stance on drugs?
Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body.
He takes a long drag on a cigarette.
You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage.
They make alcohol and Lamara too. I was told they do. I'm kind of interested what happens if I play these two fuckers off each other a bit.
Oh, I don't go for that foreign piss. Proper booze is made in Mundi. Or sometimes, I like a dram of that Yugograd vodka. Koikos and worse much. But they do no booze.
So take it you're not smuggling
Not in, not out. I'll never betray the purity of my tribe.
So you're telling us that you don't know anything about drug smuggling through Terminal B?
I don't know shit. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
You fussing a cigarette, then what are you still hanging around here for? Most other commoners have left.
What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass like ass cancer.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby. The man pulls on his cigarette furiously, probably still thinking about mosquitoes and ass cancer.
It's not you, then who's running drugs in
Isn't
Terminal
it
B?
obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well.
I'm not sure you're going to south here. That guy's a lorry
Of
driver.
course he's a lorry driver. What? He tell you he's just some simple businessman or some shit? He's selling his employer stuff after he broke the seals on his Humanox lorry. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. He's your man, all right? 100%.
I mean, I do have to ask him, but I definitely don't take you on your word.
I wouldn't be so sure about it. Not until we've heard what Sealang himself has to say.
Guess so.
He grins, contented with himself. I might need to question it. I might need to go down that route again if, Well, not let me investigate this box spillage otherwise unless I, push him. Probably won't. Okay. Goddamn.
Looking for something, Aunt? Drugs? You know where... They know they can't beat us in a fair fight. So they have not in...
So you're...
I don't know shit. What do you think?
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
I did see one lorry with the trailers open by here. Do you know what happened?
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved this country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags when some Kip boys smashed his lock and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to.
After him, I
It's
guess.
a fucking travesty is what it is.
Interrogate the driver and let this one.
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
Seems like a man who knows about drugs.
Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know? But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
Finance those other addictions.
Hey, man, that's serious criminal talk. Are you trying to pull some sort of an entrapment thing on me?
Entrapment is a practice whereby an officer of the law induces a person to commit a criminal offense that the person would have otherwise been unlikely to commit, usually through some trickery, persuasion, or fraud.
What? No, of course not.
Then what's your deal here?
Let me be straight with you. I'm trying to figure out who's smuggling drugs at a Terminal B.
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration.
Wait, then why are you still hanging
Gotta
around?
guard the stuff. Bosses don't look kindly on missing cargo, and it gives me time to work on my rhymes.
A rhymesmith? This is quite credible. It goes with its cadence and way of speaking.
You think you'd be conducting the drug trade
Look,
then?
man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
We wouldn't say he's lying, sire.
I'll wait on that one.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
So, Siling, what's your stance on drugs?
I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty, tasty drugs.
We're looking for lorry drivers transporting drugs out of the harbor. He or she is in this transit
That's
jam.
so cool. You investigating the local drug trade like some cool narc? But I am not a lorry driver. I am just a street vendor. I don't know anything about that.
A blatant lie, sire. Yet he tells it with such conviction. We'd believe him if we didn't know better.
But you are a lorry man. Another driver has identified you and your
Who
lorry.
said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater.
So you admit you're a lorry driver?
No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole.
He stops to think.
Realizing he can't get out of it. Smart man.
Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream.
So you were embarrassed to tell me.
No, I just forgot. It's such a small part of my life. It's in the rear view mirror now. I'm climbing out of that hole. With ingenuity.
Stop squirming. What do you know about the drug operation at the harbor?
Nothing. I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. I don't get involved with that crowd.
And what crowd is that?
Crowd. You know, the drug crowd.
No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd. He doesn't want to talk about them. He's afraid.
Who are you afraid
Look.
of, Siling?
There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this mess. I've spent 15 years working my way up.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it.
Buddy Siling, help us out. No
It's
one
a
knows.
she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she's no lady.
Interesting. Could this driver be connected to the Hardy Boys?
Could she be associated with the Hardy Boys?
I don't know. I'm not local. I don't know anything about that.
Who are these other drivers
All
who
of
talk?
them. I don't know. I told you all I know. Are we cool now? I really want us to be cool now.
Who exactly is talking about this lady driver of yours? The racist or the other one with the tattoos?
He points north.
All of them. Even the ones who've left. I don't hang out with them. I don't remember who has tattoos.
The lady driver, the old man back there?
I don't know. Maybe. If she is, I haven't gone near her. I don't get involved. I told you.
It could be. She was strange. He's not ruling her out.
Okay, we're cool
All
now.
right. I scored. Let's cap this off with a purchase. You can walk away from here with funky sunglasses, detective. Both of you. You deserve it.
I'll leave you to it for now. Sweet. It's rather substantive.
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
That one of the drivers is a woman, but I don't think she's here. Do you know this lady driver?
I don't want to talk about that.
I don't mean to pry, but I need your help. She may be involved with the drug business.
I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. And I don't know where she is.
Who's this person? What's her name?
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the lady driver. She kept her name a secret. From me too. Now I see why.
Who is she to you?
A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay?
What does she look like?
A youngish woman. Gruff, but in a cool way.
What color hair?
Blue and violet. Dyed. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Then she may have dyed it again.
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad person. I know that much.
We can't just let it go. It's part of a police investigation.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down, she may not survive it. I can't have that on my conscience.
It won't come to that. We won't pursue her on this. This is information only.
I don't believe you.
Believe us, it
I
really
just can't,
is.
man. I'm not naive.
You said she's troubled. How?
She's got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over. And you're looking for a way out.
She shared this with you?
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her.
I was told everyone's afraid of her. You're not?
I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But I wasn't afraid of her. More like for her.
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
Well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind.
Oh, in her mind?
The way it worked. The trouble it was giving her.
Huh. When she left her, did she leave her lorry behind?
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her, or were afraid of her. They'd be more than happy to rat her out.
He's right. There are other options. The raceman, for one. The grey-haired woman. Maybe she knows something. Wait, this guy says they're friends. Then, acquaintances. And he's okay with others ratting her out. Push Tommy and it will break his heart. And his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals.
Is it okay with others? I'll just
Fine.
ask the question.
I don't want to be a butcher. And I don't want to be a knight either. I just want to be a person who can sleep at night. A little fame wouldn't hurt too.
Fine, I'll drop the matter for now.
Thank you, friend. Wow, this makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again. Would help with my rhymes too.
I like this man. I'm not gonna fucking do this to him, but that's, you know, worth noting.
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph in her hands. In the background, the radio plays.
Snap your fingers in front of her
If
face.
you want her attention, you may need to be more forceful.
Snap your fingers
Where
twice.
am I? Who are you?
Like a magician recalling a subject from hypnosis, you've jolted her back to reality.
The smile on her face has disappeared, replaced by the weary aspect of a cornered beast.
You were right, ma'am. You were out.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
She adds with contempt. What's so bad about the 50s?
The men have small jaws and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you can make the world out of amber?
When else
Back
would
in
you be
Mecca,
then?
during the time of the revolution, the sidewalks and cafes are filled with young people. I was on my way to see a new Boyadero picture starring Gabriel Buenguerro. Until you came along, that is.
Who's Gabriel Buenguerro?
This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
She shows you a photograph in the laboratory.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide brim hat. His hair is dark as an oil slick, and his jaw the most perfectly chiseled thing you've ever seen.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And schoolboys used to memorize all his lines.
She leans back, savoring the world she's conjured
In
up.
all likelihood, it's a world that's only ever existed in her mind.
So I take it you were in mess when you were young?
Someone was.
She nods as though her meaning was perfectly clear. Someone, are these not
They are
memories?
someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if it's me or not? They're beautiful. That is all that matters. Beautiful and true. And they will win. They're coming for this, you know? All of this.
She seems to derive some bitter pleasure from this strange thought, as if the past will one day wipe the present away, like a tidal wave approaching.
Sorry to interrupt your dreaming.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Loman. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall. Everything was golden.
Christ, narrow ship here to take your measure.
While you, people, were tearing each other apart over your petty little revolution, in Meth, it was a golden age.
The Republic of Mesk is a massive confederation on the Isola of Muindi, the world's largest state by territory. It's a petrostate, a constitutional monarchy, and, as of recently, an outcast due to its tilt to the far right.
Great, I have some other questions for you. Police
Why not,
questions.
Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
She looks back against the railing of her motor lorry. Behind her, mountains of memorabilia, photos, and knickknacks line the dashboard.
There's something off about this woman. Tell her to show you the soles of her boots. Maybe she was at the hanging somehow.
What do you hold?
Diamonds.
Diamonds, really?
Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
Okay, but what are you really
Whatever
hauling?
stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
So you don't know what you're hauling in your own lorry?
I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo, if you know what I mean.
She says that as if something narcotic is the real reason.
Me. That's a dumb answer. What if the cargo is contraband?
Then it's contraband, Loman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest. Lock me away like Bad Hand Hermenegildo.
Bad Hand, Hermenegildos's bad hand, strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like strangling people.
I just don't really understand the whole Boyadero
Of
thing.
course not. To truly understand the Boyadero, you need to listen to On the Western Plain.
A boyadero, boya for short, is a cowherder from upstream Magritte, the great steppes of northern Mesk. He is a rugged individualist and explorer.
Okay, what's that?
It's an old ballad about a young girl who falls in love with a daring Boyadero. He promises to marry her as soon as he returns from the Western Plain.
I'm guessing that doesn't happen.
Of course not. The Boyadero returns from the Western Plain a changed man. One night, as he and his beloved are out walking along the river Maigret, she pleads with him to give up his riding and settle down.
In the background, you can hear the orchestra swell as the screen fills with the maiden's imploring eyes.
I think I see where this is going.
So the Boyadero strangles his beloved and throws her body in the Magritte. Then he rides off, because the Western Plain is calling to him.
That's not where I thought
You
that
have
was
to
going.
understand. A true boyadero needs a whole horizon to himself. He can't be tied down by man or woman. His beloved was selfish. She didn't know what it meant to love a boyadero.
What if to truly love a boyadero is to float lifeless downstream?
Before I came, you
She's
seemed
just a
away.
distracted old woman. We should maybe let her get back to her things.
So he doesn't think she's the lady driver?
You hear that, Loman? I don't think your partner likes you spending too much time with me.
Why is that,
Nothing.
Lieutenant?
I just don't think she's connected to anything.
He doesn't want your frail mind caught up in something here. Something unconnected to the case. But connected to this woman tuning out like that.
Should you drive a
Oh,
lorry if you have
don't
that?
worry about me. I'm one of the best camioners around. I drive routes no one else will.
What
The
routes?
Monosovsland, Udajnaya Zemlya, the Western Plain,
She knows close her eyes again when
the
your mind's so
Transcatlia
much.
Magistral, you for 1A, Adestradas du Mirador, all the good ones, the deep trenches, where the bluebirds fly.
I'm something of an expert in blacking out. You should take better care of yourself.
You're right, Loman. I'm the one who should take my health more seriously. Thank you for looking out for me.
A correct appraisal. You're quite shabby.
Is that all you woke me up to say?
Show me the soles
Now
of your
what do you
boots.
want with an old woman's boots, Sheriff?
It's important police business.
I'm
ma'am.
starting to think you should let me get back to Gabriel Buenguerro. You are no Gabriel.
She's wearing sturdy worker's boots made of black leather. Buckles run across. The sole is also made of leather.
Yeah, the other one.
Just
please.
before Gabriel, it was the coronation of Franco Negro. Now, there was a real man.
There's no aberration in the pattern that you can see. She puts her foot down.
Moreover, the boots were size 37. Tiny. There are too many discrepancies in all this. Another discrepancy, although not boot-related, is the coronation of His Innocence, Franco Negro, which happened 500 years ago.
Wait, what do you mean it was the
It
coronation
was.
of Franco Negro?
And then it was no more. And I was no longer holding my father's hand. He was no longer descending the stairs in Ryle. The crowd had gone silent. Perhaps it was another Sheriff who came and woke me up, looking at my boots, asking questions. Or perhaps it was one of the others in this carnival. I don't remember.
As she says carnival, she gestures to the empty square with the statue and the machines.
She's not outsold. These are not the boots that made the prince.
I could have told you that from just looking at them. The size is 37.
The feet of a little girl, they fit well on the pedals.
Are you the
Can
lady
you just
driver?
call me a lady, Sheriff?
Soul of a woman driver? You're the only
I'm
one
not
here.
that either, Sheriff. I've gone too far from it all to remember what was between my legs. It doesn't work like that on the long haul.
So you're not the driver.
I'm only
everyone's terrified
terrifying
of.
to small children and to those who used to know me.
Yeah, it's not her. Believe me.
Very scary people used to know
Because
you.
they can no longer recognize the person I once was.
You said the long haul. That's...
The big ones, the trucks. There's no women and men there. It's all just...
She hums along as if to a track on
In the
repeat.
middle of this town, there's a ghostly motorway. It takes all the people where they want to stay.
In the background, a quiet song seeps from her cabin into the air. You don't hear any vocals.
Who's the female driver?
How
was
should
told
I
of.
know? Do I look like I spend a lot of time with the other communers sniffing around when I have my movies to go to?
That's all I have to
Oh,
say.
sin.
Thanks. The woman stares at you, her mind elsewhere now, in other matters. You seem like a woman who knows a thing or two
What do
about
I need
drugs.
drugs for, Lowman? What I see, what I feel, the great adversary, no drugs can compare.
The adversary.
Yes. There is a protagonista and an adversario. I am on the side of the adversary. There's no coming back from that hole.
Okay.
Those epithets are familiar somehow. The great adversary. The great unrest.
That's what I was getting
Then what were you getting at?
Maybe if she thought you're corrupt.
Is that your home?
You're man,
Exactly.
low man. What of it?
Okay. Maybe put it another way. You're smuggling drugs through Terminal
Maybe.
B.
Probably not. Makes no difference to me either way.
You said earlier you don't know what car you're hauling. Could it be drugs?
Just this month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiriza to Grat on the U41A. What do you think they take from Saramiriza to Grat, Lowman?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking you.
It's diamonds, Lowman, obviously.
Okay. If you had to guess, who do you think is smuggling drugs around here?
Easy. He's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others.
Okay, if you're not involved with drug trafficking, why are you still waiting
Where
here?
do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music, or the seagulls. Look at all the colors and the features of this world. It's a good palate cleanser, this jamboree. Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it will, to the Great Plains.
I think we're done here, no?
Yes, go. Enough jamboree. I need to get back to Mesky.
Our voice trails off. Okay, well, I am gonna probably wrap things up around here. Next time, whenever next time ends up being, we will look into the matter of what am I getting at? We will look into the matter of the fucking last guy, and also the I'll probably have to get that